Oh yes, the business world. Whether we're reliving the startup days of a tech empire in Silicon Valley or exploring the ugly sides of the free markets, the medium of film has produced many must-see business-oriented films. I just enjoy experiencing those real-world stories adapted for the screen, especially when they're imbued with the artistry of filmmaking. Since I got that finance bro setting going on with the Patagonia today, it's only right that I mix it with the film bro in me to discuss the very best business films out there. Let's kick this off with a top 5 film of mine, David Fincher's The Social Network, the film that placed Fincher into the Mount Rushmore of modern-day movie directors. An actual masterclass in filmmaking where Fincher combines all the best pieces of his prior films into one. As we follow the founder of Facebook going through 2 different civil litigations, Andy Sorkin's screenplay takes the audience along for a ride of flashbacks and filling aspects of what it takes to launch a startup. Like, I was so invested in Zuck growing the firm and us just exploring different corporate strategies and VC funding efforts, but it came along with a mixed bag of trust issues. And this aspect of the story gave us one of the best scenes of the decade.
You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
The editing, the camera placement, that score. Like, we felt another level of emotion every time that bass kicked in. And Andrew Garfield deserved an Oscar nomination just for this scene alone. But this film gave us a small view into a world where innovation and personal drama collide, showing the challenges of entrepreneurial ventures in the digital age. Another one of these ventures was shown in my second favorite film of 2023, Blackberry. Man, I remember as a kid wanting a Blackberry, knowing it was the hottest thing in the market, and it also had those free games too. But I just love this film's style, with those free handheld zoom-in shots, along with the incredible acting and music choice, all making this film super entertaining. It showed us the dynamic of innovation in the rapidly evolving tech industry, while also exploring the nature of disruption and competition in business. Shout out to the director Matthew Johnson for also acting in this too. But I thought the standout was Jim Balsillie, played by Glenn Harrington. His betrayal of Mike as CEO portrayed in this was so wild, and oh, we cannot forget that one scene.
You think I won't do it? I'm from Waterloo, where the vampires hang out!
Hey, shout out to the Canadians out there. We then moved to one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, the great Martin Scorsese, with his 2013 film, The Wolf of Wall Street. The most film bro of movies where any fraternity can recite a whole scene with no error. No, but really, this is one of my favorites, where DiCaprio has one of his best performances as he keeps the audience engaged with Jordan Belfort's absurd, extravagant lifestyle. It's crazy what Scorsese does with this, because there's sort of this underdog element from the jump, where Belfort's high-pressure sales techniques brings him to the top, but we know fraudulent schemes are going on with the pump and dump manipulation of Stratton Oakmont, and we're left thinking it's only a matter of time before he gets caught. The film leaves us with a fresh view of the art of persuasion in sales, while also showing the consequences of financial corruption and greed. And this is a perfect segue to one of the most iconic lines in film history.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
Yes, the infamous Gordon Gekko shareholder speech from 1987's Oliver Stone film, Wall Street, where we dive into the world of sales and trading and the high intensity during market hours. The film gives us a fair look at how manual trading was done back in the day, and how market manipulation was driven by that one thing, greed. Michael Douglas absolutely killed it playing Gekko, giving him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Just that deceptive nature of Gekko using people like puppets was so thrilling to watch, because he had that charismatic confidence in every decision and conversation had. The film is a true classic. We then move to another certified classic in Glengarry, Glen Ross, where I was introduced to this gem of a film from the OG YouTube channel, Watch Mojo.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
No way!
Like, we're talking about a movie with legendary acting performances and scenes I could rewatch over and over again. The film follows a group of real estate salesmen in a cutthroat sales contest where some result of fraudulent tactics to be at the top of the board. So many memorable scenes, but there's one scene where I could recite it fully. A, B, C.
A always be B, C closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Alec Baldwin had an absolutely amazing performance with his high pressure motivation and was literally only in the film for like 8 minutes. And the great Al Pacino gets an Oscar nom, showing off his character's deal making aptitude, selling unattractive property. Jack Lemmon, Kevin Spacey, Ed Harris all carried the film too. Just such a great acting ensemble. Now, most of these films I mentioned show fraudulent schemes and financial corruption being done, but let me shift this with a personal favorite feel-good movie, The Pursuit of Happyness. The film where, out of all the movies I mentioned today, this is the one everyone needs to watch, as it involves so many valuable takeaways of what it takes to overcome any obstacles in life. We follow a man who has a broken marriage, is going through career struggles, along with homelessness, all while trying to be a caring father. And that was the best aspect of the film, that father-son dynamic, with Will Smith's actual son, Jaden Smith, acting in the movie. Just that screenplay beautifully captures the hardships both have to go through, while Will knowing he has to set the best example for his kid.
You got a dream, you gotta protect it.
People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
That was such a moving scene. And we see the persistence and resilience he has going through numerous setbacks while being able to adapt and build his own network. Like seeing him with an interest of starting a career as a stockbroker, going through obstacles of an unpaid internship, studying and passing the Series 7 exam, and even juggling with finding a place to stay. It was just so satisfying seeing everything get paid off with his offer at the firm.
This little part is called happiness.
This one definitely made me tear up. Now, this film was released in 2006, right near the disaster of the global markets with the great financial crisis. The worldwide economic downturn originating from the housing bubble burst, leading to bank failures, nosedive values in the stock market and real estate, and a huge rise in unemployment. The most notable film out of this was Adam McKay's adaptation of The Big Short. A super entertaining film showcasing the stories of multiple investors who strategically positioned themselves against the market, creating substantial profits from the bubble burst. From celebrities and characters breaking the fourth wall to easily explain financial instruments, to getting a view of the inner workings of unpopular investment strategies. This film is so unique in its way of keeping us engaged with a tense screenplay, while also being super informative, which is a key reason for Adam McKay winning an Oscar for Best Screenplay in 2015. Another great film relating to the financial crisis was 2011's Margin Call. Written and directed by J.C. Shandor, this film makes you feel like you're actually in the middle of an investment bank right at its breaking point. As we follow an analyst in risk management discover the bank's portfolio, hyper-exposed to overvalued mortgage-backed securities. Like when we see the execs get called into the office overnight, I felt so much tension without even being there. And with the signaling of an impending collapse, I just love seeing the discourse in the firm's decision making and the consequences that would follow.
You will never sell anything to any of those people ever again.
I understand.
Do you?
Do you? This is it. I'm telling you, this is it.
Watching the fire sale take place was really interesting to watch, and though it's a complex situation, I thought it was well explained. Although this is a fictionalized Lehman-esque bank, I think this film still doesn't get talked about enough. The screenplay, the acting, so many iconic scenes. Another wild film is 2012's Arbitrage, a film where it keeps you constantly thinking about what's going to happen next, with a hedge fund manager trying to sell off his trading empire before his deceptive practices are discovered. Another great thriller. We also had Netflix's 2023 film, Fairplay. Not the greatest landing to a story, but I enjoyed the aspects of being in the world of a hedge fund, using Bloomberg terminals, understanding the hierarchies and power dynamics, and just the discussions of huge investment strategies. Now, of course, there are many other films that I didn't mention, like some of the Coppolas and PTAs of the world, but I'll leave those for another time. Nonetheless, I think each of these movies are entertaining in its own way, but can offer us valuable insights that can enrich our understanding of business, and maybe, by doing it the honorable way, inspire us in our own endeavors. Well, that concludes another video essay, if you want to call it, about my favorite business films out there. But you guys really should check each of these out. I mean, Social Network, Wolf, Glengarry, Margin Call, so good, so good. Always like talking film, business, and the market, so just had to put in a video. But if you guys like this, please check out my other content that I made recently. I actually really enjoyed looking back at films and just like making a video about it. But if you guys want, check those out and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Cheers. Have a good one.